This is Laricy Live, and I'm your host, Matt Laricy. We're giving you unfiltered access to the world of real estate, where we can cover the market trends, news, and honest answers to keep you ahead of the real estate game. Laricy Live is brought to you by Lincoln Title. Lincoln Title is the best and most efficient title company in Chicago and is the best place to close your property. Laricy Live is brought to you by Guaranteed Rate and Ben Cohen. Ben Cohen is the #1 lender in Illinois and can close your loan in as fast as 8 days. Okay, so today we are talking about the summer buyer. Summertime shy and the summertime buyer. You know, what I wanted to do was give a little bit of background of the different types of buyers. You got different types of buyers at different times of year. I tell sellers all the time, like, I price things differently depending on the type of the year because I know the type of buyer that's out there. The spring buyer is different than the summer buyer. The summer buyer is different than the fall buyer, and the fall buyer is different than the holiday buyer. They're all different. And at different times of year, you got to know what you're dealing with. And for my buyers out there, you got to know who you are, right? We got to know who we are. Got to know what we're dealing with. So when we're thinking about, hey, what is a summer buyer? Let's think about, when does the summer market begin? I think the summer market begins between Memorial Day all the way to Labor Day. So right now, this is being shot in the beginning of June, so we have entered summer season. We are seeing the summer buyer. So it's kind of like we're in one of these documentaries, and we're like, have you seen them out there? Have you seen it out there? Yep, I've seen them summer buyers. They're out there, and they're out there in droves. And let's talk about what is a summer buyer. A summer buyer is one of two people for the most part, okay? For the most part, okay? I'm not saying that's all of them. I'm not generalizing. I'm saying for the most part. For the most part, they're one, buyers who wanted to buy in the spring but got outbid too much and were a little bit too scared to go to where they had to go. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Please, I am not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that they were like they knew they had to go maybe an extra 10 grand and they didn't want to do it. One, because maybe it wasn't worth it. Maybe they didn't want to do it. Maybe they have the funds. Maybe they weren't comfortable with it. Whatever it is, they just weren't ready to pull the trigger in the spring. So they're kind of like that layover effect, that after effect from the spring market. They've been around. They've kind of been beat up. They're war torn. They've seen their days in the foxholes here. And now they're kind of ready. They're weathered and they're ready to buy. That's one type of summer buyer. Second type of summer buyer, they're fresh. They're new recruits. They've got a lease coming due at the end of August, September, maybe first part of October, in that range. They've heard the market was hot. They don't know. They're kind of coming in here starry-eyed, gazed, and ready to go. They're just ready to be like, hey, it's nice out. The weather, how about that weather? It's nice out there. Let's start looking. So those are the two main types of people that make up the summer buyer. Do summer buyers bid as fast? I would say that summer buyers are a little bit more cautious, okay? Spring buyers are the type that just run and dive right into the pool. They don't ask any questions. They don't care if it's hot or cold. They don't take no prisoners. They're jumping in that pool, okay? Spring buyers are like, they're going to jump in the pool. They're not going to dip their toe in first. They'll jump in, but they walk outside. They take aware of their surroundings, kind of make sure the pool looks somewhat clean. Then they jump in, okay? So they're ready to go. They're pretty fearless, but they're not overly fearless. Like, I'm just like completely blindsided by how hot the market is, like spring buyers are. Summer buyers are a teeny bit more cautious, and when it comes to bidding, we don't see them usually pull the triggers fast. So let me give you an example. Spring market, everything moves in a day. We walk into a place, we walk in at 3:30 in the afternoon. We see the listing agent. Listing agent's like, hey, highest and best is due at 5 o'clock. You're like, highest and best is due at 5 o'clock. It's 3:30. Like, I don't know if I'm ready. I'm like, listen, if you're not ready, it's gone by 5. Then 5 o'clock, 5:01 hits, it's gone. Spring buyer's like, shit, I can't believe I missed it. I'm mad about that. I don't want to do that again. So then we walk to the next property and they're like, hey, highest and best is due at 4. I'm like, oh my God, it's 3:45 today. And my buyer's like, get it up. Giddy up. Let's go. Let's get it in. and we're under contract. That's how quick they are. Summer buyers are a little bit different when they come to making offers. We walk into a property, listing agent's like, hey, highest and best is due at 5 o'clock. My summer buyer, they're like, all right, let it go. We'll get the next one. No big deal. My summer buyer walks in a property, listing agent's like, hey, we got a lot of activity. Market's hot, property's hot. No offers yet, but we got a lot of activity. Spring buyers will be like, go over, ask to wrap it up today, and don't take any prisoners. Let's get this. Let's don't look back. Summer buyer, they say, here, there's a lot of activity. They're like, okay, it's good to know. I'm going to sleep on it. Might bring my parents back tomorrow. We'll see. I'll let you know in the morning if I want to make an offer or not. So they'll move on it, and they're quick, just a little bit more calculated, a little bit less trigger happy. Would I say summer buyers take their time more? I would. I would say that summer buyers are more calculated. I mean, again, the two main types of summer buyers, one of them, they've already been looking for a while. They've been looking during the spring. This ain't their first rodeo, okay? They've been out there. They've been riding them horses, okay? They know what that market's like. Now they're ready, but they've taken their time. My other type of summer buyers, they're not one and done type people for the most part. They might look at 20. They may look at 40. They may look at 100 houses. I don't know. But they're a little bit more calculated. By no means are they overly picky like fall buyers. But they're a little bit more time they take when they look at houses. Are they nervous about losing deals? Summer buyers are less likely to be nervous about losing deals compared to spring buyers, and they're not as Chicken Little syndrome as fall buyers. Honestly, guys, summer buyers are like balanced buyers, okay? They're not like over the top crazy like spring buyers, and they're not the world's ending like fall buyers. They're like median. They're just in the middle. And some people it makes mad, and some people it doesn't. I don't care. I don't give a crap what type of. I don't give a shit what type of buyer. I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I got to tell you that I know who I'm dealing with at different times of year, and I alter my business model for them because I know that's how they're going to be. It's like in the summer, it's like, hey, they're not the type to be like when it. Give you an example. We'll be looking at a place, and we go under contract. Okay, in the spring. There might have been 4 offers and we won, okay? And we take it as is, okay? And we're like, the inspection list is like longer than a football field. And my clients, I'm like, this is a lot wrong with it. My clients will be like, you know what, whatever, I love it. I want to take it, no problem. In the summertime, there'll be a laundry list of stuff on the inspection items. And then the listing agent is like, listen, we got backup offers. You guys ask for anything, we'll kill it and go to somebody else. My summer buyer will be like, no problem, kill the deal. If they don't want to give us anything, I'll get the next one. I've seen these other ones have been sitting for a week or two. It's not a big deal. We'll get the next one. They're not nervous about it. They also can't be pressured. Like there's a big listen. I'm not saying I'm not the type of person to be a high pressure guy, but I mean most realtors I meet when we go on showings, they always drop like I'm told there's an offer or we have offers, blah blah blah. And that strategy works really well in the springtime because the reality is you see it happening firsthand. Like you might have a buyer be like, I think the listing agent might be lying when they say that they got offers. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, anything is possible, right? They're not breaking the law by saying that they may have offers or may have offers coming. That's not breaking the law. Saying you have an offer when you don't have an offer, that's breaking the law. But we hear a lot of my spring buyers like, do you think they're lying? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, depending on who it is, I might be like, I don't know. She's normally pretty honest, or he's pretty much full of shit most of the time. Like, I know most agents' dynamics, so I'll be like, this is what I think, and then it sells. And I'm not saying like I'm right or wrong in the situation. I'm just like, this is what it is. And then the spring buyer's like, crap. Like I missed out on that. Like, if somebody says it, I'm not gonna be the one to miss out on this opportunity again. I'm gonna go for it. Summer buyers, if a listing agent's like, hey, we got people who are gonna offer on it. Summer buyers will be like, no problem. We're not going to be interested. We're not going to get a multiple bid. We'll go buy the one down the street. That's it. So I tell a lot of listing agents, I'm like, don't get cocky. You can't be cocky in the summer like you could be cocky in the spring. Listing agents are very cocky in the spring. Very cocky. Are you busy? Are you busy? Do you know how busy I am? I'm so busy. I'm so busy. In the summertime, I get to the property a little bit earlier. Every summer, every summer, agents look at me like they always do this. This is literally the move I see 1,000 times. Get to a property, listing agent, I see him, I'm like, hey, what's up, man? How you been? They're like, yeah, pretty good. And then he's like looking around. I'm like, what are you looking at, dude? He's just like, hey, you been busy, man? I'm like, what? Speak. There's nobody around here. You speak up. He's like, are you busy? I'm like, what? Are you busy? I always say the same thing. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to keep up with other people. Like, I'm not trying to sound like a cocky or a jerk. I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, it's really slowed down, It's, this market's changed, Like, it feels different. It's just like, it's a little different, right? And I'm just like, I don't know, man, it's the summer market. Same thing happens every year. It's like, I don't know, like, my buyers are just not moving as quick. I don't see them pulling the trigger. They're like not scared to miss anything. I'm like, yeah, that's a summer buyer, dude. That's just how they are. That's how they have always been. That's how they always will be. It's called a summer buyer. That's it. And I'm telling you guys, that's why I tell people I live in Groundhog Day. I see the same shit happen every single year. 4 different quadrants in the marketplace. Know which quadrant you're going to come up against, and just alter your business model for it. So when I talk about our buyers, summer buyers, more nervous to lose deals, no, they don't care. Like, they want it, and they'll go in, but they're not going to push the chips in like a spring buyer will. They will not do that, okay? And they're not as fearful as fall, okay? They're not the fearful fall fright buyers, okay? The summer buyers are just a little bit more cautious. That's all. Let's see here. Are summer buyers more prepared? I wouldn't say anybody's more prepared or not. I would say that summer buyers are more calculated. They, as we've discussed, they'll kind of like, they're like a shark almost, right? Like, they're not just going to strike. They kind of they smell the blood in the water, they circle the prey, and then they strike, Whereas, like, fall buyers, like, circles. Like, I'm not going to nibble. I'm going to go. And spring buyers are just like, they're just like jaws. They're just grabbing it. They ain't looking back. They're biting that thing in half. They don't care, okay? So, they're just a little bit more calculated. That's all it is. What about leases? How much do leases impact summer buyers? So, summer buyers, again, they're always the type, they're like, my lease is up August, September, October. And they are always... So spring buyers are like, my lease is up, let's just use an example, April 30th. I got to be on contract by April 1st. No questions asked. Like, I got to buy. Like, I'm buying. Like, April 1st. Summer buyers like, my lease is up in August or September. Talk to my landlord. He's pretty chill. He's a cool guy. He's kind of chill. He said I'd give him another month or 2 if I needed it. No biggie. Worst case scenario, I'll extend it to Jan. Just punt this thing, no biggie. So that's how we say it from. They're like, I almost feel like they're like California surfer buyers. So like, no biggie. I'll punt it for a couple months if I gotta. Eat some rent, sign a lease, whatever. That's kind of how summer buyers are with leases. Whereas spring buyers, like, it's like a hard date. Like, that's it. No matter what. Summer buyers, like, I'll couch surf. No biggie if I got to do a month. I got a bro down the street, surf on his couch. It's cool. So it's just a little bit different. I just don't feel like summer buyers are like hell bent on their exact lease date. They'll like figure things out if it has to happen on their time. How is a summer buyer different than a spring buyer? We've kind of talked about it, but I will say, like, the main big thing to know about is that, like, spring buyers are more deadline focused. They're less risk adverse. They're just jumping right in the pool, no questions asked. They are more opt to pay for more than what it's worth, because that's when prices are the highest. And they're kind of like more fearless. That's the best way to put them. I say spring buyers are kind of like fearless, where summer buyers are balanced. They're just more balanced. I like a balanced market because I don't like when anybody's better than anybody else. I kind of like, I actually succeed probably the most during balanced times because I kind of prefer everybody to kind of be on the same playing field. And then how are they different than fall buyers? I mean, fall buyers, the fright buyers, right? It's like Halloween buyers. They're all scared. It's the boogie buyers. They're fall buyers they always tell me the world's going to end. They always tell me, but if the rates are high, I can't wait for this year. The fall buyers this year with the election, I mean, Jesus. They're all going to tell you, so-and-so wins, the world's going to end. You do know the market's going to drop. You know that? Do you know how many people told me in the fall? I can't even tell you. If I had more time, I would pull up my emails from end of September till end of November when every buyer I had told me that the market was going to fail in 24. And I have emails back saying, like, listen, guys, I'm telling you the market's going to take off like a rocket ship. I see this trend all the time. Like, my buddy bought 3 places, and he tells me you're wrong. I'm like, yeah, dude, like, we sell 3 places in a day. This makes me sound like a total jerk and a cocky asshole. I get it, but I'm just saying, like, your buddy who bought 3 places, one in Oregon, one in Texas, and one in Florida, like, can't really tell me, like, what's going to happen in the spring market in Chicago, which starts January 2nd. Like, you just can't. I'm sorry. I get it. He's a buddy of yours. You know, the frightful fall buyers they're on a different playing field. They're literally I can't even compare summer buyers to fall buyers because fall buyers are just like, I can't even describe them. You can't. Like, there's a GFCI, which is $75 to fix in a house, and they're the types that's like, I don't know, I need like $50,000, and you're like, what? You're like, what? Did you say 50? They're like, yeah, $50,000. You're like, oh my god. So again, I'm not talking crap about you guys that are gonna be looking in the fall. I'm just saying, like, you know, you just gotta understand that, like, this is all the same stuff. It's just different times of year. So you got to know who you're dealing with. So in the summer, they're not as fearless as the spring, and they're not as crazy as they are in the fall. That's it. Same old stuff. Mediocre. Why do you say summer buyers? Why do some people say summer buyers are bad? I don't know I don't know if anybody knows. Some people, I asked people on the team for some of these questions. I don't know who said they were bad. I don't think anything is bad about summer buyers at all. Summer buyers are cool, but I will tell you about summer buyers. Here's one thing about summer buyers and summer market that drives me personally crazy, okay? Like, a lot of times, they miss out on properties and they get upset. And I'm always like, well, they were only showing on Saturday, and you were gone for Saturday. They're like, yeah, I was at a wedding. And I was like, huh? I'm like, yeah, but that's not my fault, right? So we get blamed a lot for summer buyers' travel schedules. That's a big one that, like, kind of drives me crazy, is a pet peeve about me. So listen, if you're a summer buyer out there, like, you can't get upset if you're going to miss stuff on weekends. I will tell you right now, if you want to win in the summer, look in the weekends. Look on a weekend this summer if you want to win. I will tell you that we will have more showings on a weekday than we will on a weekend during the summertime. I get sellers every single year that scream, belittle. First off, I can't understand the way people talk to us. Like, it's like mind-boggling the way people. I mean, it's like, I don't know what it is lately. Maybe I'm getting older. I don't know. I'm getting older for sure. But the way people just belittle us, it's just like, Jesus Christ. And they just talk down to you like, Matt, why are we not getting any showings on Saturday, but Monday is booked? And I'm always say the same thing, like, well, just out of curiosity, Mr. Seller, where were you on Saturday? Like, well, I was up in Michigan, you know, we got a house up there. I said, okay, well, where do you think all the buyers are at? Do you think maybe they went to Michigan or Wisconsin? You know, like, most people in Chicago got lake houses, or know a buddy that's got a lake house, or their friend's got a boat, or, you know, they're under 45, and, like, you got 3 of the best months of the year to live it up and party and get hammered, or you want to go to the beach, or it's, you know, wedding season, or you got a bachelor party, or you got a bachelorette party, or, you know, you just got travel, or it's, you know, you've been waiting all year to take the European vacation. I mean, go on and on. Weekends are just slower. Every single year, from mid-June to the end of August, I am slower on the weekends and busier on the weekdays. It's not even a question. It's like not even a question. Like, we'll have like 30 showings on like a Monday or Tuesday and like 10 on a Saturday. Whereas like in the springtime, I'm not even joking, I'll have 100 showings in the spring on a Saturday. It's like, that's an understatement. Sometimes we'll have more. So, like, watch out for that and take advantage of the weekend with people out of town. And if you want to win in the summer, here's what I would do. I'd look at a place on a Saturday and be like, I want an answer by 5 o'clock. You're not going to have as much competition. Try doing that move in the springtime. So again, like, I take different strategies at different times of year. So if I talk to a buyer and like, well, you told me to do this in March. I'm like, yeah, in March I told you to do this. But now I'm in June. I'm going to take a different strategy. Or if I talk to a seller, like, well, you told me to price, like, honestly, in the springtime, the spring and early summer, I price things at market or below market because everybody's going to bid over. In the fall time, I price things a little bit more than market because I know everybody's going to negotiate. In the fall time, you could price something at $1 and somebody still wants at 50 cents. You know, you price something at $1 in the spring season, they'll give you like $50. That's the difference. So you have to know the types of markets and type of clientele that you're dealing with. So, like, in these summer months, you just have to know is that, like, listen, if everybody's out of town, okay, And you get to see it. Like, listen, I'm not saying the city's not packed, but I'm saying, like, you do an open house in the spring, you get a line around the corner, you're waiting 10 minutes. You do an open house in, like, end of June on a 90-degree day. And I'll tell you right now, like, people are out there having fun. They're not, housing priority doesn't become number one anymore. So the reality is that, like, you just know is that, like, hey, they know that they didn't just have anybody at their open house, or maybe they had 2 people, and the agent could sit there and tell me he's got 50 offers on it, but I know he's full of shit. So, like, I could call his bluff in the summer. I can't call his bluff in the spring because he probably does have other offers. But in the summer, I could call the bluff a little bit more and be like, listen, you want full price, cash, as is? I want an answer by 5 o'clock, or else I'll buy something else. And guess what? I'll wrap it up that day. So something that comes on the market at $500,000, I could get it for $500,000 in the summer, whereas that same price in the spring might go for $525,000 or more. That's the difference. So I get strong arm a little bit more in the summertime. You can't get cocky. Listen, it's not like the fall where, like, you're running the show as a buyer's agent, but I'm saying, like, in the summer, like, you get somewhat strong arm. Do I see more in-town buyers during the summer? Yep. You know, people are traveling the city and they fall back in love with it. We're going to touch on those during the summer shift. Same with these empty nester type of buyers. Last question is, when do I see the summer buyer go away? Summer buyer gets on the horse, rides in the sunset after Labor Day. That's it. You see him goodbye. You don't see him again till Memorial Day. It's kind of like that movie. Like, I just picture, you know, like those movies that are like on the horse and, like, you see him just, like, walking off the distance and the sun's coming down. Once Labor Day is kind of over, that's it. Summer buyer's gone, and then it's like you like get to, like, that horror movie that's, like, all lightning out, and like you hear something, like, I don't, did you hear something? Like, I don't know. Did you? I think I heard. Did you hear something? Like, I think I heard something. And you're like, oh my God, it's the fall buyers. Oh shit, they're here. So it's like the end. That's like the end of the market for the year of, like, the good stuff is once the summer buyer rides off in the sunset. So that's it, guys. What I want to start doing every year and 4 podcasts a year is talk about the different types of buyers and what we're seeing, because obviously the summer buyers, fall buyers, holiday buyers, and spring buyers, they're all different, and at different years they act differently because things will somewhat change, but at the end they're all kind of the same. It's the same stuff that happens. We live in an endless groundhog cycle that happens every year, and if you understand the different dynamics, if you understand the quadrants of the marketplace, you can always win. And when people say, how do I predict the market? I'm like, I don't know. I'm a big history guy. I study the past to predict the future. That's it. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Laricy Live.